I've seen more women's bodies than I can count. Being a male OBGYN will do that to you. I just don't see women that way anymore. But life goes on. Still gotta find a wife someday. For some reason, every attractive woman wants nothing to do with me. The woman sitting across from me is the 18th blind date I've been through. Whatever at this point. Hey there. I'm an Obigun, 28 years old, making about $6,200 a month. No car, no house. Bye. I'm Rachel, 27 years old, pulling in $3 billion a year. Got a car, got a house. I damn near choked. Wait, what the hell is going on? Is this woman running a fever or something? Whatever, let me just get through this so I can report back to my mom. If you and I get together, he'll always have your back. At home, you're the queen. Out in public, I just ask that you give me the respect I deserve as your man. If we get married, I'll hand over $5,000 a month. I had barely finished talking when she started laughing. Miss Rachel, what are you laughing at? Don't you think that's a little rude? Sir, you're a decent guy. But I'm not here for a blind date. Wait, isn't this table 8? This is VIP table 8. The regular tables are down the hall to your right. I wanted to crawl into a hole and disappear. My bad. I walked into the wrong place. Who the hell goes to the wrong table on a blind date? No wonder she was laughing the whole time. She probably thought I was way out of my league. Just as I turned to leave the elderly man I had helped up outside, walked in and headed straight to VIP table 8. I later found out that old man was Gerald Quinn, chairman of the top conglomerate in Cloudville. All 3 of his sons had passed away. Rachel was the granddaughter he valued most, and the heir to the Quinn group. Maybe it's just fate. No man has ever had the guts to get close to you, but he pulled it off. And he's a genuinely good and honest man. He helped me up outside without expecting anything in return. He passed your test, but he hasn't passed mine yet. I do want to honor your wish, Grandpa, and marry a solid guy, but agreeing after just one blind date feels way too rushed. All right, I have full confidence he'll pass. I found table 8 in the main area, and sure enough, a woman was sitting there waiting. Sorry, I'm late. I'm an Obigun, 28 years old, making around $6,600 a month. No car, no house. Stop. What is your deal? With those qualifications, do you honestly think any woman would marry you? And you think you have the right to show up late? You're wasting my time. Ugh. She grabbed her glass of water and threw it right in my face. 28 years old, making $6,600 and you're a nobody? Where do you get the nerve? She tore into me, then grabbed her bag and stormed off. My expression went dark. Say one more word and you'll regret it. But honestly, I knew I couldn't back that up. Suddenly, a dramatic scream came from outside the entrance. She hit me. She hit me with her car. One look, and I could tell this long-haired guy was faking it. Then a young woman hurried out of a BMW looking panicked. What's going on? I was barely moving. How could I have broken your leg? Quit talking and pay up right now. How much are you guys looking for? The long-haired guy grabbed the hem of her skirt. Hey, sweetheart, a pretty thing like you. We could work something else out. These creeps had bad intentions. She stumbled backward in fear and bumped right into me. I didn't take advantage of the moment I stepped in front of her to shield her. So your leg is broken and you want money, right? I drove my foot hard into his shin. The guy yelped and started hopping all over the place. Thought your leg was broken funny? How well you can jump. You got lucky, punk, and they bolted from the scene. From the window, Rachel watched the whole thing and thought to herself, damn, he actually has guts. Hey, thanks so much. You want to come back to my place for a drink? I can even make you some pasta. She was clearly throwing herself at me, so I turned it down without hesitation. I'm good, I got things to do. She stomped her foot in frustration. I literally put myself out there. How is he not even a little bit interested? Haha. Hi, Rachel. I told you that man is solid as they come. Your assistant is gorgeous, and he didn't even flinch after you're married. You won't have to worry about him at all. Grandpa don't celebrate too early. A man who doesn't chase women is definitely chasing money. When I got home and told my mom how the date went, she grabbed me and dragged me toward the door. Mom, what are you doing? Where are we going? That woman walked out without finishing the date, and I already paid the matchmaker. We are going to her place right now. I could not believe my mom had gone this far and was actually dragging me to the woman's house. Thinking about that glass of water she threw in my face, did I really want a second round? I couldn't talk my mom out of it, so we showed up at her place. Her mom acted like she owned the world, demanding $500,000 in bride price, plus full cash payment for a wedding car and house. My mom not only didn't push back, she actually agreed. She whispered to me that she'd sell the house if she had to, just to fulfill your father's dying wish. Then out of nowhere, her little brother jumped in. When I get married, you and my sister will need to take care of my car and house too. I completely lost it right then and there. Why don't I just support your whole damn family? That's exactly what you said, so don't come crying later, saying you can't handle it. The rage hit me like it did back when I was in the field. See, I'd rather marry a damn pig than end up with a woman like you. Your whole family is out of your minds. I turned and walked straight out. The second I stepped outside, 3 luxury cars pulled up, and the commotion caught the attention of the people inside. When they saw those 3 cars worth tens of millions, their jaws nearly hit the floor. What's going on? Did some big shot come calling for them? Then Gerald Quinn stepped out of the car. Mr. Lin, thank you for helping me up outside the cafe. I came here to repay you. I honestly had no idea this old man was loaded. Gerald waved his hand, and his people unloaded several crates of gifts, gold jade, fine art antiques, and a set of Porsche keys. Holy crap, this stuff is worth at least 10 million combined. When the blind date woman saw all of this, her eyes went wide. Honey, what's all this? I had no idea you were such a caring person to help an elderly man like that. Honey! One sentence was all it took to make her squirm. You just rejected me now. Where do you get off calling me that? She just stood there, looking completely lost. Mom, let's go. I got my mom into the luxury car right away. Please take all of this back. I just need a ride home. What all of this is worth $10 million and you really don't want it? My late father taught me you don't take what you haven't earned. Helping you up was nothing. It was the least I could do. How that's my kind of man. After I got out, Gerald took everything and headed back. Rachel, I told you that man would pass every test. A bet is a bet. Now go marry him, and hurry up and give me a great-grandchild. Rachel said nothing. The next morning, I got a call from an unknown number. Young man, you wouldn't take my gifts, so how about I find you a wife interested? Old man, what kind of angle are you working here? Ha! It's not a trick just trying to get you hitched. You scared. Funny thing is, I'm not afraid of much, but getting a wife is definitely not on that list. My 18th blind date just crashed and burned, and my mom was driving me up the wall at this point if someone was willing to marry me, as long as they weren't a dude. I was in. Then bring your ID and head straight to City Hall. Let's do it, I ain't scared. I showed up at City Hall and froze. It was Rachel. Why are you just standing there? Get over here. Miss Rachel, you want to marry me? You not down for it? Oh, I'm down. Otherwise I wouldn't have shown up. Let's go in and get this done quick. Before we filed the paperwork, Rachel stopped me. You sure you don't want to think this over? Miss Rachel, for someone so cold, you're being a little wishy-washy, don't you think? Just don't come crying to me about it later. After we got our marriage certificate, Rachel finally laid it all out. Marrying you was only to keep my promise to my grandfather. Don't read too much into this marriage, do whatever you want. Even if you go see other women, I won't care. I thought to myself, did she mix up her lines? Isn't that usually what a scumbag guy says to a woman? Oh, right! You don't have a place of your own. So here are the keys. I know the wife is supposed to move in with the husband, but there is no way I'm going to your place. So this is our place. You'll live there, but don't expect me home much. I suddenly felt like I was the one being kept. Take them. Rachel really had the energy of a top-level executive, commanding presence and all. Alright, fine. Living off the rich wife, not bad, see ya. Rachel dropped those 2 words, turned around, and was about to leave. Miss Rachel, hold on one more thing. I can stand people who drag things out, especially men. Fine, what is it? 3 things. First, give me a way to reach you and don't say no. You got married to deal with your grandfather? I did it to deal with my mom. If family asks questions, I need to be able to find you. Second, I will give you $5,000 every month, call it rent, or the promise I made during our blind date, either way. Rachel gave a small smile, but she didn't say no. Yet third, what are we gonna do about the physical side of this marriage? Rachel heard that and couldn't help rolling her eyes. Until you give me a reason to feel something, don't even think about touching me. Rachel's untouchable answer was exactly what I was hoping to hear. I had been dreading marriage because I was afraid I could never satisfy a wife that way. And with Rachel taking it off the table, I felt like a weight had been lifted. Rachel couldn't help but curse internally. His reaction was clearly not an act. This jerk genuinely seemed unbothered by her, and her looks that had always turned every man into a fool were somehow falling flat for the very first time. Being an OBGYN truly is the worst profession imaginable. Using the address Rachel gave me, I found the Skyview Estates, a high-end residential complex in Cloudville, where units go for over 10 grand a square foot. Meanwhile, by the time Rachel wrapped up her meetings, it was past 9 at night. She was halfway home when she suddenly said, "Stop the car." She had just remembered that she got married today. By tradition, a wife moves in with her husband, no matter how wealthy she was. Marriage meant living with her spouse. Turn around, head to Skyview Estates. Her driver was curious, but knew better than to ask. By the time I finished buying groceries and got back home, it was already 10:30 at night. I had left the lights on when I went out, and everything still looked neat when I came back. I had no idea Rachel had already come home 15 minutes earlier. I was sweaty from shopping, so I pulled off my shirt and headed to the bathroom. But the second I pushed the door open, I froze, my eyes locked onto the woman in the bathtub. I literally forgot how to blink. Rachel was in the bathtub, soaking and unwinding. Get enough of an eyeful. Want me to gouge your eyes out? Rachel did not scream. She was a little startled, but kept her cool and warned me. I used to live alone, never locked the door when I showered. Sorry, Miss Rachel, I had no idea you were home. Every hair on my body was standing up. I backed out of there fast. I was half afraid if I had waited one more second, I would have passed out on the floor. This is what you get with a flash marriage. You know nothing about the other person's habits. That woman had the most terrifying eyes, but how was her figure that unreal? Every inch of her skin was absolutely captivating. You okay? I walked toward Rachel and reached out to help her up, but stopped cold in my tracks right in front of her. This woman was like a block of ice. I was not about to touch her carelessly. But when I saw cold sweat pouring down her face and her whole body completely still, I finally just bit the bullet and scooped her up. She was light about 5'7" and probably barely 100 pounds. Don't touch me. Despite the pain on her face, Rachel's eyes stayed sharp like a cold blade. She had always hated contact with men, let alone being picked up by one. Every inch of her skin broke out in goosebumps at that instant. I could feel how cold she was, and I didn't dare look her in the eyes as I gently set her down on the couch. I said directly, "This is almost certainly acute gastritis from skipping meals too often." Rachel flinched slightly. First day together, and this guy already figured out what was wrong with her. I gently lifted the hem of her sleep dress. "What do you think you're doing? You got a death wish." Rachel found some strength from somewhere and twisted my arm hard. It hurt, but I didn't fight back. "I'm trying to ease the pain. You're an OBGYN, you know how to deal with this too." But the next second, a fresh wave of sharp pain hit her stomach, and she had no choice but to let go of my arm and clutch her abdomen again. If you don't trust me, I'll call 911. You can tough it out on the way to the ER. I'm not about to keep putting myself out there for nothing. I picked up my phone to dial, but seeing Rachel curl up from the pain, I put the phone down after all, and crouched down in front of her. Rachel felt my warm hands lift the hem of her sleep dress. But this time she didn't stop me, partly because she couldn't, and partly because she figured she'd give this guy one shot. If it turns out he's just trying to take advantage of me, I will make sure he regrets it for the rest of his life. I couldn't help noticing her legs absolutely flawless. The moment I lifted her sleep dress, I instinctively swallowed. My eyes caught a glimpse of the curve of her hip where her underwear sat, and my mouth went completely dry. I had seen countless women's bodies at work, but not a single one had ever pulled at me like this. Rachel's plain cotton underwear was about as unsexy as it gets, yet I still couldn't stop myself from taking another look. But a second later, I snapped out of it and rubbed my hands together to warm them up before pressing them against Rachel's stomach. Rachel felt a wave of warmth spread through her, and the cold, cramping pain in her stomach eased up noticeably. After a few rounds, I moved into a slow massage on her lower abdomen. Not only was there not an ounce of fat on her stomach, it was toned and firm. She was clearly disciplined and definitely worked out regularly. What kind of technique is that? Every time a man had touched her before, she felt a wave of pure disgust. But this time, the disgust was still there, mixed in with something that felt oddly comfortable and almost shy, leaving her expression genuinely conflicted. Traditional 9-yang pressure technique, I said evenly, not daring to look up and meet her eyes. But my gaze couldn't help drifting down toward Rachel's lower half one more time. This woman's figure was simply perfect. It was an instinctive reaction, not lust, just a kind of genuine, natural curiosity. For a man who had never once felt drawn to a woman body, this sudden pull was more like an unconscious appreciation than anything else. But Rachel had been watching my every move. So the real him is finally showing, acts all upstanding before the wedding. But deep down, all men are the same. Every single one of them is a creep. Feeling better is the pain gone. Move your hands, Rachel said coldly. I pulled back automatically. But then something occurred to me. I'm your husband, and am treating your pain. You shouldn't be this hostile toward me. Rachel bit her lower lip and let out a cold scoff. Why does human reproduction have to involve all of that? Do other women really not find the whole thing uncomfortable and invasive? I'm gonna go make you something to eat, and remember not to skip meals just to work late, I told her as I stood up. Is that doctor talking or husband talking? Does it really matter? Rachel didn't answer. I need to be asleep by 11, so don't bother me after that. Living with a corporate executive is stricter than working a hospital shift. 10 minutes later, I had a bowl of egg noodles ready and knocked on Rachel's bedroom door. Rachel opened the door with a flicker of surprise in her eyes. Mo, a grown man who actually knows his way around a kitchen. I walked right in and set the bowl of egg noodles on the desk in her room and said, "Eat it while it's hot, your stomach can't handle anything cold right now." You're telling me what to do? Rachel said with a look that was half smirk. Honestly, not used to having a man around the house. Even my own mom never looked out for me like this. And here it is coming from some guy. I stood my ground and said, "Look, this is just me being real with you, and don't forget you're my wife and my patient right now. So you listen to me." Rachel stared at me and furrowed her brows. But she decided not to argue. Then she looked at the bowl of plain egg noodles and couldn't help but wrinkle her nose. "You expect me to eat this? It's not gonna kill you. If you don't eat it and go to bed on an empty stomach again, that's just more damage to your gut." Rachel finally picked up her chopsticks and took a slow bite. Her expression shifted ever so slightly. This is actually not bad at all. Just a late night snack every now and then. Shouldn't make me gain weight, right? For the first time, Rachel thought having a man around the house wasn't the worst thing. This felt different from having a housekeeper. Watching her expression and hearing what was going through her head, I didn't know whether to laugh or be annoyed. Even a woman who can't stand men still cares about her figure, just like everybody else. Beauty over everything, I guess. Okay, I'm done, you satisfied? Rachel had only taken 2 small bites before putting down her chopsticks and looking at me with those pretty eyes. Like a patient checking in with her doctor. How does a woman this impossible to deal with even exist? I made her a whole late night meal, and she took 2 symbolic bites. But what could I really do about it? I swallowed my frustration, picked up the bowl, and headed out. I had just stepped out of the room when I heard her call me back. When I turned around, Rachel was holding out a bank card toward me. What's this for? There's $100 grand on there, spend it. Stop buying cheap food and stocking the house with it. There's probably a lot we still need around here. When you have time, take care of it. And if you need more money, just ask me.